And we are live. Welcome, welcome everybody to the Millionaire Mindset Hangout. And this week we have a very, very incredible, wonderful guest. So excited to have Paulo Barosso. I have a little bit of laryngitis, so I'm going to pass it off to Alicia and Keisha right now to do the proper introduction for Paulo, because I don't know how much my sound is coming through right now.
Bless your heart, Valerie. I know 'tis the season, isn't it? I'm out here in Nashville, in our little office. You can see our fun stuff behind us. And we are so excited to have Paulo. We just found out that he's one of the top 50, I guess, network marketers. I don't know how they listed on there, but there's so many that we know. I was like, I want to vote for several. There's so many great ones. And we're so excited to hear Paulo's big shift. I've been seeing him speak on stage and just really transform so many people's lives.
To the Millionaire
Being out here with my cat sitting on me, I'm so excited. Let's hear it over to Keisha out there in Philly. Is that right?
Yes, you're right. And guys, we are so excited to have you on with us live a couple days before Christmas. And if you saw my link out there, I've been saying we are in the season of giving, and Paulo is going to give you mounds of transformational breakthrough nuggets to help you succeed in your life. So you want to get your pens, your papers, your recorders, and you want to stay tuned and live with us so you can get that transformational breakthrough. So, Paulo, I'm excited. I mean, I've been on your wall today. We're Facebook friends. We see each other almost every 90 days. I know part of your success story. So I'm excited for all the information that you're going to be sharing with us and about how that all took place. So, Paulo, if you're ready, we're waiting to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, and I would love to, if I can, hop out into this. And congratulations, I'm on, in one business that you're involved in, reaching the 700,000. And I just, of course, we have a link below, results not typical. And you can, but, we're not typical. We choose not to be typical. I wanted to, if that's okay, to start off with asking you a question, Paulo, before I completely lose my voice. What would you say is the biggest mindset shift that you have had that has led to your amazing success, and how did you get there?
That's a really, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. I'm really blessed, and I feel humbled to be here, by the way, and being invited to to speak and tell about my story. Because for the longest time I always thought I didn't have a story to tell, and oh, look how boring I am, why people want to listen to me. But then I realized when you start achieving a certain success, obviously online, that people do want to hear your story. No matter how boring you are, you will touch people's lives, and that's the reason why I speak from stage, even though I'm very introverted. I'm quite shy actually, and I don't really like to have the attention on me, but I always take myself out of the equation, and the reason why I do this, and even though I'm nervous, even though I don't like speaking from stage, and the reason why I do it is because I take myself out of the equation, and really I come from a place of servitude. I want to serve people. I want to be of service, and that's the reason why I do what I do. Although it's very uncomfortable for me, and I feel uncomfortable about talking on camera or being on stage, but I do it out of servitude, out of being of service. So I would say the biggest mind shift I've had in my life was, first of all, finding a mentor, someone who actually taught me or how I should start thinking for myself instead of just being led by others. See, the problem with me was I used to be very, very aware of everyone around me and what people thought of me. So I never thought for myself. So I was always being led. I would just follow the crowd. I would always think, oh, I can't do this because people will think X. So I was always very, very afraid to think for myself. So the biggest shift that happened in my life was when my mentor taught me, probably need to start thinking for yourself and follow your heart and don't care about what other people. So when I started to realize that other people's opinions of me will never won't actually pay my bills, won't ever actually help me at all. And I start thinking for myself, even though I might not please everybody, because I was a people pleaser. I wanted to please everybody. Oh, I can't say this because I'm going to accept X and Y and Z. So I was always afraid to have my own voice. And it was really until I realized that, you know, I need to start having my own voice and really start thinking for myself. Was when I found my own voice, and then start doing my own thing. And you know, it's when I had really a total shift in my whole life, really, because I don't know if you guys know my story, and I'm going to compress the story because I don't want to be here obviously for an hour just speaking and bore you to death. But you guys need to realize this. If I had the success that I'm having right now with the present company that we're all part of, I was a struggling marketer for 6 long years, guys. And again, because of the mindset I had, and my mindset was terrible, guys. I was the most negative person you could ever come across. If you would have known me 2 years ago, only 2 years ago, I was so negative. And so let me just run you through how was the day in my life. So I was a printer, by the way. Up until 2 years ago, I was a full-time printer, and this was my life. I would get up in the morning, you know, ready for work, 5:30 in the morning, because I used to get up quite early. Get on the highway, drive to work, listen to the radio. And what I mean listen to the radio, I would listen to the news, you know, all the bad stuff happening in the world. So that was the start of my day, was just listening to the news, how bad the world is. And I live in London, in the UK, by the way, and the economy here, by the way, took a hit as well. So the news was just bad stuff. So that's how I prepared myself for the day. I would wake up in the morning, listening to the news, getting ready for work, dreading going into work. Why? Because I didn't enjoy my work. There was traffic on the road. I didn't do very well with driving in traffic, by the way. So I would lose my temper. So I would. Why am I telling you all this? By the time I would get into the office at 7 in the morning, I was already in a bad mood. And by the way, I was a boss there, so I had like 20 members of staff working for me. So imagine this, I was already in a bad mood, so obviously people look up to me and think, oh, okay, he's not in a good mood today. So that's how I live my life, guys. I live my life really under tension. I live my life really not being in a good place. And my coworkers, you know, I feel sorry for them now, because I wasn't much of a positive thinker. So obviously the mood in the office was obviously not very good, because I wasn't a very positive person at all. So I came always from a place of hard work, and we need to work hard and this and that, and I was always like, this is how life is, so get on with it, just get on with it, work hard, and you know, one day you get a raise, and one day you'll get whatever you want. So that was my life, guys. I never used to read. I always was realistic, and what I mean by that was, like, I believe that this is life. Life is tough, and life will beat you down, and just, you know, just work hard, and this is how life is, until, you know, I came to realization really that I had a tough life. I wasn't really happy with the way things were going. I wasn't happy at work. A lot of people didn't know this, but I was broke, you know, even though I was a boss there. I just didn't have enough money to keep me going through the month. I remember getting paid, and I know I said this before from stage, and I'm sorry if I'm boring you, but I used to get paid on the first of the month, but by the middle of the month, I was broke. I had no money in the bank, and it was tough. It was tough for me and my family. I've got 2 kids, and I couldn't provide for my family, and I really felt like a failure, and I just couldn't work out why. You know, why wasn't I doing well? Because even though I had a good job, so to speak, because I was a boss for this company, and I was broke, and I just could not work it out. Where was I going wrong? And then obviously I used to blame everybody else for my problems. Oh, okay, so I'm not doing well because, oh yeah, because I made this investment and this person ripped me off. Oh, because my parents didn't give me the right education. Oh, because of this and that. So I used to blame the world for my ills, for my problems. And it was really from a point of being rock bottom, where I couldn't afford really to go on a holiday, to pay for things that I wanted to buy my kids and all that. It was from a place of desperation that I started looking at for something else. And what I mean by that was I went online and I thought, what am I good at? What's my strengths? What do I like? And I had a passion for internet marketing. All those internet marketers that I hear about, how do they do it? They work from home, they travel first class, they always seem to have money, and they've got the nice things in life. They treat their kids to nice presents. I want that. I want to. I'm gonna be quite honest. I came from a place of being selfish, where I wanted to better myself and give my family the nice things in life. So I'm going to be quite honest with you. I did that out of selfishness, being just thinking about myself. And I'm going to be honest with you. It took me a long time to learn how to do internet marketing. I struggled for 6 long years, 6 or even more, 7 years, where I bought everything under the earth. As you guys know, I jumped from program to program. I bought all the internet marketing gurus products out there, and I tell you what, I sucked at everything. I really did. I was so bad at it. I've invested a lot of money and nothing worked for me, and I couldn't work out why does nothing work for me. Because there are people making money out there, right? There are people making money on the internet. Yet Paulo, I couldn't work it out. I was just wasting and spending money, this and that. And then I was just so desperate that I realized, I need to find a mentor. I need to find someone that can actually teach me how to work this internet thing. Because I'm doing a lousy job at it. And by the way, I was still very negative by then. So nothing changed. My mindset was still all over the place. I was what I like calling myself a crap magnet. What a crap magnet is I used to attract all the negativity, all the bad people. People used to rip me off, and I never understood why. I never understood why I used to put money on something, and I would lose it, and then more. And I never understood that. And obviously, it was all mindset, and I'll explain to you guys what changed. So it came to a point where I was so fed up of losing. I was so fed up of not succeeding and seeing my girlfriend then to see me always failing in line. And I was losing faith. I mean, it was like I used to say to her, one day I'm going to make it. One day I'm going to look after you. One day I'm going to look after the kids. We're going to go on holidays. It's going to be all right. And then she used to say, yeah, okay. And then for 6 long years, she just kept seeing me failing. I felt like a complete failure, that I could make it. So what I decided to do was like, okay, because I've been failing for such a long time, what if I find a mentor, someone that can actually teach me how to market online properly. So I started looking for someone who was successful, and I came across someone that actually I researched him, and he was doing very, very, very well online. His name is Vic Streishaus. I don't know if some of you guys might know who he is. He's a big time marketer. So I managed to trace him down and get his number. Don't ask me how. I just did. And I remember this day, like this was only like 2.5 years ago. I called him on the phone and I said, Vic, you don't know who I am, man. I'm just struggling, and I talked to him from a place of desperation. I just told him I'm really fed up of just not making it online, man. I spent so much money over these years, myself and my family a better life. I know I've got it in me. I just don't know how. And Vic, for whatever reason, it decided to take me under his wing, and he started mentoring me. And he said to me something that no one ever told me this online, which was, the reason why you are in the situation that you are right now, Paulo, is because of your mindset. Your mindset is all wrong, man. Every time I speak to you, you've got this blaming the world syndrome, so to speak, and you really need to get your mindset in order. And I thought, I was shocked by that statement, because I thought he was just going to teach me marketing and he got to teach me how to send traffic and how to pick offers, but instead he started from the bottom, from the foundations, getting my foundations right, which was, let's get your mindset right first. No one has ever said that to me before. I would find a guru online and he would just sell me his products and services and then just leave me alone to it. But Vic was different. This mentor was different, and I really resonated with what he was saying. So he was basically telling me, get your house in order, get your head in order. And I started doing everything that he was telling me to do because I was in such a desperate position that I would just accept anything you tell me. So I took him on, and for 30 days, he said to me, "You've got to change your mindset, and I'm going to give you a program that he called the 30-30-30 rule, that if you follow it for 30 days, I promise you your life will change." And it was tough for me because he was asking me to do things that I've never done before, like the 30-30 rule comprised really of reading for 30 minutes. And I'm not a reader. I wasn't a reader. I am a reader now, but I wasn't a reader. So he asked me to read books like Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill, obviously a classic. And in the beginning, I was like, "Oh my God, I have to read this book now." And I wasn't a reader. So he told me, get out of your comfort zone and really do things that you weren't prepared to do. So if you weren't a reader, you need to become a reader now. You got to become someone different. You got to become someone that you've never been before. And that really hit me. Oh wow, I have to start doing things that I wasn't doing before. Because if I carry on doing the same thing, expecting a different result, that's not never going to happen. See, I was doing the same things every day, like going to work, listening to the news, read newspapers and all that, and not really wanting to change. And yet I wanted to change. I wanted to start making money from home. I wanted a better life. I wanted to raise my standards. And that was never going to happen unless I start changing myself. And that was the first shift in mindset, was like, oh, I get you. I need to do something different. Because if I carry on doing what I'm doing right now, running my life the way that I'm running right now, 7 days a week, it's not going to happen, is it? Nothing's going to change. So that was my first mind shift, was like, man, okay, so for 30 days, I have to do something different. And I started reading. So the 30-30 plan was like, for 30 minutes a day, I'm going to start reading a book. For 30 minutes a day, I'm going to listen to a positive audio. And then the other thing I had to do was, for 30 days, non-stop, I had to do that. I had to read for 30 minutes, listen to an audio for 30 minutes again, and do it for 30 days non-stop. So this was 7 days a week, by the way, guys. Not for like, do it for 10 days and then stop, take a break. No, I had to do this for 30 days. And the reason why I was told to do this for 30 days is because the subconscious mind, it's a habit mind, as you guys know. So I need to put another habit in there. You know, where before my habit was just to listen to negativity, talk to negative people, watch the news and take all the crap. I had to involve myself with just positive messages, just being positively, reading something positive, listening to something positive, and watching something positive as well, like a video. And guys, I did that for 30 days, and it wasn't easy. I'm not going to lie to you, because as you know, you do it well for a few days, and then you start getting bored, and your brain starts to deviate, and you want to do something else as well. But I tell you what, I did it because I was in a really bad place. I needed a change, and I wanted it so bad that I did it for 30 days. And let me tell you, my life, I can't say my life changed completely after 30 days, because that wouldn't be telling the truth. But I start seeing some shifts within me in those 30 days. I start noticing a change in me, feeling more positive, feeling more vibrant, it's like seeing the world from a different lens. It was like start seeing colors brighter. I start noticing people paying comments to me saying, "Hey man, what's up with you? You seem more, you seem happier." And then I started noticing a difference within me. And you know what? I didn't stop after those 30 days. I carried on. And I remember driving in my car to London, going to work. I worked 60 miles away from home. And my car was a moving library. What I mean by that, it was an audio library. I had so many tapes by Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, Jim Roth and all that. And I was listening to these people. And I thought to myself, you know what? Even if nothing happens in my life for the next 6 months, I don't care, I'm going to carry on doing this. So that was my mindset. I'm going to just carry on listening to these people, because the stuff that I was listening to in the past, all the bad stuff, the news and the crap, newspapers and all, they didn't help me. So now I'm going to carry on listening to these positive people. And I don't care. I just let go. And the minute that I let go, and I said, I don't care what's going to happen now. I'm not desperate for, for $1,000,000 to, somehow to turn up in my life. I'm just going to let it go. And the minute that I let go, guess what? It's when I started to attract the right things into my life. I started to attract the right people into my life, the right opportunities, right? And slowly, slowly, I started learning on how to make money online finally. And slowly, slowly, things actually start working for me. And I can't tell you exactly, was it after 45 days or 60 days? I don't really remember it. But certainly it didn't take me many, many months or years even. I know it happened. Really, the snowball effect really started happening after those 30 days for sure. After I start feeling more positive. After I really start just seeing the world from a different lens. And I hope all this is starting to make sense to you guys. But after I started working with Vic and really reading and applying this mindset stuff, I start making money. I start making money online. I can't explain to you why, because the marketing techniques that I was learning weren't very, very different from the marketing techniques that I was applying a year before, and I had no results. But suddenly, because I had this mindset, it was like the pieces of the puzzle came all together, and I finally started making money online. And to be honest with you, it wasn't a lot of money. It was a few $100 here and there, but because I didn't give up, and I came from a mindset of, you know what, I'm going to learn this good because I have the right mindset now. So my foundations were right. So I'm just going to learn marketing now. I'm going to find a good offer, and I'm going to find good traffic, because I know those are the two ingredients that you need online to make money. Good mindset plus a good offer and traffic, you set for life. So I started doing that, and then obviously January last year I joined Empower Network. As you guys know, that's the company that I'm part of, and it just took off. Why? Because I had all those ingredients in place. Mindset, to me, was the biggest ingredient, was 80% of my success. I know this sounds quite high, 80%, you sure? Yeah, absolutely. 80% of the success that I see in my business, again, my personal opinion, it was down to mindset, guys. And again, if you would have met me 2 years ago, there's no way that I would be here speaking to you the way that I'm speaking right now, because I was so negative. And where did it take me? It took me nowhere. I was a crap magnet, as I was saying earlier. Oh my God, I used to blame the world for my ills. But now I see the world in a completely different way. I take responsibility, 100% responsibility for my actions, for my problems, for anything. I don't blame my sponsor for not having any sales. I don't blame the company or this or that or my teachers or the education or the economy. I make my own economy. So when I start, thinking this way, it's when everything changed. Seriously, I had a huge mind shift by just thinking the way that I think right now. And how did I learn this? By reading those books, by attending events, by educating myself, going to seminars. This is why it's so important, guys, to attend events. And really, self-education is the biggest tip that I can give you here today. The mindset stuff, it's really, you need to educate yourself. You really need to attend events, buy programs, and just really mastermind with other like-minded people like yourself. And that's the biggest. I know this is a long-winded answer to your question in the beginning, and I've been speaking maybe, I don't know, maybe for 20 minutes now. But mindset is everything. If you get the mindset right, guess what? You get 80% of your success right from the start. You'll be so far ahead of everyone else because you get 80% right. Then all you need to get right again is another 20%, which is the mechanics, and the mechanics is the traffic. And to be honest with you, there's so much traffic out there and offers that you can pick up, that you can learn that. The mechanics is actually not that hard, if I'm honest, but getting your mindset right, it's crucial. And that's really the reason for my success, and I hope I've made sense so far. So I'm going to shut up now and let you guys speak for a while. But that's really the reason for my success, if you want to call success in quotes, because I don't even consider myself that successful, but whatever, you know, I'm full time now, so I've achieved something. I'm happy with my life. So there you go.
So you're
Oh, yeah.
so humble, Paulo. Seriously, you're extremely successful. I think it's so powerful, your story. I mean, I've heard part of it, but the piece that I didn't hear was so incredible that I love for you to talk a bit about it. You guys jump in, but when you were saying you reached this point where all of a sudden something happened and you said, I don't, you said you let go. You let go of like, what was the feeling? What was that? If you, I don't know if you can elaborate a little bit. What was that feeling inside that you had at that point when you said that you let go? That all of a sudden then opened you up to be able to see things differently.
It's really strange because it wasn't planned. It wasn't like someone said to me, "Paulo, just let go," and I went like, "Okay." Then it was just a feeling. I mean, it's hard to describe. It was like I was so fed up. I was so tired that it just got to a point where I remember I was driving and I was listening to a tape. It wasn't Bob Proctor. Oh, Joe Vitale. And I think he just said something that triggered. I can't remember what I was listening to exactly because I used to listen to so many different things. But I remember Joe Vitale was just on the tape and he was go like, just, I think he might have mentioned the word just let go or whatever. And it just hit me. And then from that day on, I just said, you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to release my intention to the universe. Okay, this is what I want. We was talking about the universe and how everything works, karmatic law, which is something that I truly believe, by the way, law of attraction. And then I just said, you know what? I'm not going to be desperate anymore, and I'm just going to let go, and I'm just going to smile. I'm going to relax. Let me try this. Let me play a game here. So I remember just driving, and I was just smiling. I'm just going to let go. And then suddenly, again, I can't tell you when exactly did it happen, but something happened because it started working, you know. Suddenly it was like because I let go, things start happening for me.
So you let go, you were trusting the universe, basically, trusting your life and trusting the universe.
And this is hard, and I'm not going to say it's easy. It's hard because you don't know what's going to happen, right? You've got no signs in the beginning, and you think, is this working or is it not? But when you really completely just let go, and I know this is hard. I'm not here saying everything's easy, guys. But if it resonates with you, then just go with it. And it resonated with me. It was a feeling that I can't describe, but I just let it go, and I just put faith in it and say, no, you know what? Even if it doesn't work, I'm going to carry on doing it. I know this sounds crazy, but it was like I'm not going to change it now. I'm going to let it go, and I just let go, and I stopped being desperate. And even today, 2.5 years later, I'm still like that. I'm never desperate. When I speak to people, for example, people sometimes call me up and, hey man, I heard you in Empower or whatever, convince me. And I'm like, excuse me? Because I'm not in the business of convincing anybody. So I'm so relaxed. I'm like, what do you want about? What do you want me to convince you of? Because I don't convince people. I'm not in the business of convincing. So when before I was like, oh yeah, join my business. I was so desperate for the sale. Now I just lean back and I'm just so relaxed. And I'm like, you know, I just talk about my story and my life and my lifestyle and what I've achieved, and take me or leave it. You know, join my team. I know where I'm going with my team. I know my intentions. I know my goals. And I'm gonna get there with you or without you. If you want to join me, I want to work with you, and it's beautiful, and we can really work together in mastermind. But if you don't, I know where I'm going. So I'm so relaxed. So what I'm trying to say is, don't ever be desperate. Don't come from a desperation, because people can really sense when you're desperate. Mm-hmm. And I learned that. It took me a while, obviously, but now I'm just so relaxed, and I use it in so many different aspects of my life, not just to make money, in so many different things where I'm just relaxed, even when stuff happens to me. And obviously, I'm like everyone else, you know, I've got my share of problems as well, but I always approach problems from a different perspective. You know, I look outside the box. What's the positive? What can I get out of this? I know it's bad. I know it looks bad, but I'm not going to get desperate. I'm not going to start panicking, because that's not going to help me. So I just lean back, take a few steps back, relax, and how can I turn this around? How can I approach this from a place of not being desperate, of not being, negative and all that? So it really helped me. Yeah, and you're absolutely spot on. it was that time shift when I said I'm going to let go, and that was like a aha moment. So yeah,
Powerful.
it was huge. It was powerful. Yeah, very powerful.
And Apollo, I just want to say, your story, what you just shared, will liberate so many people watching right now. All of those who, maybe saw our link somewhere out there, and the fact that you were able to just let go and be able to now receive abundance that was aligned for you. But you had to first set that foundation. You also mentioned aligning with a powerful leader that can help you get there. Because like you said, so many people, we're listening to this world affairs going on right now. I just had a conversation with someone earlier on how we have to do things differently. You can't keep feeding our minds with that negative stuff. And I love my grandmother. She shares so much with me, her visions, but she's telling me, Keisha, you need to listen to the news once a day. I'm like, Grandma, no. I'm not filling my mind with that stuff. It's not affecting where I'm going and the vision I have for other people to help them in life. It's not going to help them. So they need to align with visionaries and people that know how to get to the next level.
Absolutely.
Our minds with that stuff is not going to do it.
I just want people to see a different way. If you're not happy with your life right now, just analyze it and think. Write a diary. You know what I did for 7 days? I wrote a diary of what I did from morning until from the time that I woke up until the time I went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, okay, I've got 7 days of my life in front of me. This life is not, in the future, is not going to go anywhere. I'm going to carry on being broke. I'm going to carry on being unhappy. What can I do to change it? There's a logical point of view. Write your diary for 7 days, and then guess what? For the next 7 days, do everything different. Enlighten me with this game. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but really just do, for the next 7 days, just do something different. If you jump in your car to go into work and you're listening to a specific radio station like I used to, change it. Go and put a tape by Tony Robbins. Change everything by replacing with positive stuff like audios. Then if you go to work and maybe you hang around the water cooler talking about how bad the world is, don't do that. Stay at your desk. Don't go and talk to anybody then. Don't, for those 7 days, just don't be negative. Don't bring any negative or allow any negative around your life. And I tell you what, if you do that for 7 days and then you do it for another 7, things will have to change. Why? Because you're not doing the same thing all over again. See, what I was doing was this. I was doing every day the same thing, expecting a different result. How does that work? It was lunacy, right? I was being crazy because I wanted a different life, but yet every day I wanted to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work. So really, for you guys listening to this, either live here or maybe you're watching a recording, is do this. As of tomorrow, just change your life. You know, don't have to change everything like 100%, but do small changes and start seeing the differences. Really, if you start involving yourself with positive stuff like positive books, audios, and then you start looking out for positive people as well, surround yourself with positive people, I tell you what, things in your life will change. It's just the law. It's the law of attraction, or whatever you want to call it, but it's a law. It's a karmatic law, which is there. It's what you put out. It will come back at you. So that's what I did, guys, and I really, really urge you to give it a try and just change the way you're doing things. Because if you carry on doing the same thing that you're doing right now in your life, and tomorrow you've got to carry on, nothing's going to change. You will be in the same position that you're on. You'll be in the same position 5 years on. You need to become something else. And I'm not saying change your personality. That's not what I'm saying, because I'm still the same person. But you've got to change the way you think. You really do. By applying these principles that I just spoke to you about, by reading, by listening to audios, by watching positive videos on YouTube, by attending events, by attending webinars like this, it's got to be done. It's the only way.
And it's so powerful. And I want to, that's something that you said that just really, was so powerful. You slipped right over it, but I kind of want to bring it out a little bit. And it's something that you said about when something happens in your environment, because stuff happens, life happens, right? You were talking about how when something happens, that you have this different perspective now. That instead of coming at it from a place of desperation, you're coming at it from. I'd love you to expand even a little bit more on this, but how you can find. I think you said something about how you can find the best or how you can turn it around, because I just think that's such it's a key thing, because it's, you can go along and go along and go along, and then stuff happens, and a lot of times, folks, just things, when life happens, everything, they don't continue with the mindset of it. And I thought that just was so powerful. I'd love if you could talk a little bit more about that.
Sure. I mean, this is a really complex subject to talk about, because we could be here for hours. I mean, again, I was the opposite of this. I approached, in the past, everything from a negative mindset. Oh, man, this is happening. Oh, this, I told you so. And then I would put more negative energy, and then people would feel worse about it. And it really never took me anywhere by thinking that way. So the way I approach something, I've had my bad share of stuff even lately, it doesn't matter. But I always approach it, okay, it's bad, I can feel it, it's bad. How can I change this feeling? Because the way I live my life, guys, I always ask myself, every single day, how do I feel today? That's all I care. It's how do I feel today? Because by the measurement of feeling, I know if I'm in a good place or not. When you guys having good feelings, that's how the universe, we vibration, as you guys know. I mean, maybe some of you won't believe this, but we are. So we are emitting vibration. So by you knowing how you feel, you are in conjunction with the universe or not. So I always ask myself, even when bad stuff happens to me, is, okay, let me approach this the best way I can. And I always ask, how do I feel about this? And I try to align my feeling with the problem, because I don't want to be in a bad place. So I always think, how can I turn this around? And I always think, and I know this is hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's hard. But you've got to look at the positive thing. How can I turn this around? How can I make it better? Just to give you a quick story, Mother Teresa was in this ghetto in India somewhere. I don't know the exact place. It was dirty. It was a slum. There was horrible things all around it. But you know what she did? Out of all the dirtiness, the bad stuff in that slum, she picked up a little flower that she found on the floor, and she said, look how beautiful life is. So she found, out of the darkness, out of all the bad stuff, she could have been just concentrating on the bad stuff. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, look at that person. She looked for the good. She was in the slum in India. She, impossible she could find anything good in there. But out of all that, darkness and all the poorness and all that, she found this beautiful flower on the floor, and she told everyone around her, look how beautiful life is. So this is just an analogy to say, always look for the positive in no matter what situation you are. Just accept it. Obviously accept that it's bad. I'm not saying you should just say, oh, this happened to me, and you smile and you think, oh, thank God. I'm not saying that you should be happy about it, but find an angle. Okay, this is a lesson that the universe is trying to give it to me. I understand. What can I learn? How can I learn from this? So I'm always approaching things this way. I don't approach things from a negative point of view anymore. Like, oh my God, I'm done. Oh my God, I'm finished. Oh my God, I've just lost my job. Oh my God, I just lost this person. Oh my God, this person left me. What do I do now? If this person has left me, okay, this is the universe telling me there's better things out there for me. Mm-hmm. I need to grow. I need to learn from this. That's the approach. Even if when I don't believe it, but because I think this way, suddenly that faith starts kicking in. Oh, I start feeling a little bit better. And it served me so right. And even, until now, he always served me right. And that's how I approach life. I see everything from a different angle. I see everything from a learning curve. Okay, this is the universe trying to teach me something. I might not like it. It's getting out of my comfort zone. But you know what, guys? Every time I get out of my comfort zone is when I feel alive. Do you guys think for a minute I like speaking on stage? I'm petrified to speak on stage. Why do I do it? Because it's when I have my biggest breakthroughs. It's when I help somebody. because it's not me anymore. I'm coming from a place of servitude now. I'm a servant. I'm here to serve. So when I go on stage now, I don't think about, oh, people looking at me. I don't give a crap if people are looking at me or not. I want to give the message, and I want to touch somebody. I want to help somebody. Why? Because it's not me anymore. It's not about me. It's about the people that I'm going to give my message to, the people that I'm going to impact, people that I can change. So every time I go on stage now, that's what I think about. I only think about them, not me, but people. Who can I help? So I'm just giving you the breakthrough stuff that resonates with me, stuff that I use in my everyday life. And the more I use this stuff, the more that I apply it, the more that I believe, the more energy that I give to it, the more of the rewards. So now I don't even think it's a matter of sales. Oh, I need to get sales. I just want to help people. I know this sounds crazy, but the more people I help, the more the universe gives me back. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense here. I'm maybe a little bit all over the place, but
no, it makes complete sense. I love it. I mean, asking yourself, how can I help? How can I serve? How can I
serve?
How can I? How can I?
Yes, how can I? Not so much about me. In the beginning, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm just as bad as everyone else. You know, you think about yourself. You want a better life for yourself. You want a better life for your kids. So in the beginning, it was all about me, and my family. Yeah, of course. But then, when you start learning about, you know, the power of the universe, really, how abundant life is, there's so much more. There's so much more you can give, you know. There's abundance for everybody, not just about yourself. Then when you take yourself out of the equation and you start putting other people, that's where the big picture is. And I'm still not there. I'm still learning this stuff. But it really is. When you start being a servant, I don't know if this is the right word. I'm hoping that you guys understand that I'm using the right terminology. But I want to come from a place of servitude, being a servant. Yeah. That's what I want to be. I want to be known as that guy. I want to be a servant. Do you know what I mean? And help as many people as I can, because I know by helping others, which gives me tremendous gratitude and pleasure and happiness, I'm helping myself as well. It's just the way the universe works. And once I got this law, the law of return, you know, giving out and once I got this law, oh my God, everything changed. There's no lack in my life anymore. It can't be, because the universe won't allow it. It's just, I'm smiling because I know how this works. It really is. Once you get this law, you see, I never used to give, by the way. Let me just explain something else to you. I need to take this out. I need to get this out. I was so tired. I was so tired with my time, with my money. I would never give anything away. Why? Because I thought if I give away, then I will lack. And it's the other way around, guys. It's not how it works. The way it works, you give out. And I've learned this. It took me a while. Oh my God, it took me 43 years to learn this. It took me such a long time, and I am actually blessed that God actually allowed me to learn this in my life, because I thought that I was going to die, go through my life and die without learning this principle, which is the principle of giving. And I know this is hard for some of you guys to understand, because I was there. I was that guy. I'm not going to give my time, my money, what? But you know what? Once you start giving, you're basically telling God, the universe, whatever religion you are, I'm not here to talk about religion, that you have more than enough. You are more than enough. You don't, you know, God will provide, the universe will provide, so you just give out. And I know this is hard, but you know what? When I have my worst months in my business, are the months that I'm not giving out. Not just with money, sometimes it's time. And I know this principle, and you know what I do? When I have a bad week, I go out and give. It might be money, it might be my time. I go out and help somebody, because I know, and I know this sounds crazy, and you guys think, what the hell is he on about? It's true. When I do that, it's when and then the returns come, and I don't expect them. I just know they're there. I know they will come, and it may take me a few days, a week. It always comes. And I do more marketing, more advertising when you're down. Actually, yes and no. I do a mixture of the two. But my priority is, okay, I'm not giving enough, so let me go out and give. And guys, I know this sounds crazy, but it works. I'm blessed, and I get blessed, and I bless others as well. So I hope
I'm
again.
getting chills
I hope
over
I'm
here,
making sense. I hope I'm
Paulo.
making sense.
I'm getting chills over here. I want us to start shouting. I'm a Christian, so I am everything you're saying. I resonate with it, and I know so many people out there who are watching today who will watch. You're blessing them right now, and we're thankful. And it's so in line with the spirit, the season. You may not have seen some of my posts and some of the things out there, but I knew this is what you would be doing. You will be giving. You will be giving so much of yourself. And I am so thankful to you. So if I have to jump off, I just really want to say that uh, you talked about audios, you talked about books. Somebody might be new on this line watching today. If you could just tell them, and we share so many, books and audios, your top three, because everything you're saying is what they need to hear. Maybe what you read. If you could share your top three audios, your top three books, somebody out there wants to know. I want to know. If you can share that with us, and if I have to jump
Absolutely.
off, please know I
Absolutely.
appreciate you.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the books that absolutely changed everything for me is the book that I mentioned earlier, which is Think and Grow Rich. I mean, that's a book that everyone should read. I mean, there's several. There's Psycho-Cybernetics by Max Waltz, another book that's absolutely transformed the way I think. Um, Starts with Why by Simon Sinek. So Starts with Why, Simon Sinek. Powerful book where you learn what's your why really. You need to know why do I want to do this? Because guys, if you got to do this just for the money, and if you think, oh, it's because of money, you gotta fail, because you need to really take the layers out and find out the core. What is your core? What ticks you? What makes you get up in the morning and think, man, I'm ready for today? And that book actually showed me how to dig into your feelings and your wants and your passion and find out what's your why. And I found out in the beginning that my why was my children, for example. Oh, I want to give my kids everything they want, blah blah blah. So I use that as my fuel, and obviously my why now is much bigger. My why now is people. I want to, my biggest why really is to get to a point where money means nothing, and I just want to work and mentor and help people to achieve their goals. That's my ultimate goal. So books like Think and Grow Rich, Starts with Why by Simon Sinek, really are the books that really made a huge um, powerful change in my life. As far as audios, guys, I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins. I would advise you don't even have to go and buy stuff. I mean, there's so much stuff on YouTube. Listen to stuff by Tony Robbins. Seriously, there's so much. There's countless hours of stuff by Tony Robbins that you can just listen to for the next 6 months. Seriously, anything by Bob Proctor. I absolutely love Bob Proctor, by the way. He absolutely changed my life. I did a couple of his seminars, and they absolutely changed me. I mean, there are so many good authors out there, but if you start with Tony Robbins and Bob Proctor, you really can't go wrong. Stuff by Joe Vitale as well. People like that. I mean, just do your research. Always do this. Yeah, ask yourselves, why should I listen to this guy? So do your research. So find out who's successful, find out a role model, and then just follow that person. Obviously, I believe in Tony Robbins. I believe in people like Bob Proctor, so I went and buy their products. Why? Because they 20, 30 years or even more of experience, they've compressed it down into a program, an audio. So I go, instead of having this learning curve and go through 30 years of my life, going through all the problems and so forth, they already been there. They already learned from their mistakes. All I have to do then is just follow it through and learn from these people. So yeah. I hope I came through clear there with what books I normally read and audios, but there's so much stuff out there that you guys can go and buy, or just watch it on YouTube and listen on YouTube. I'm a big believer in a circle audios, for example. I like listening to entrepreneurs, people who are doing well. I love listening to people's stories, people who came from nothing, people came from a place of bankruptcy or wherever to a place where now they set for life, they free, those stories and find out what ticks people. I like reading autobiographies, for example. People like Richard Branson, you know, Donald Trump, people who made it, people who lost fortune and then they made them back again. I like reading about how, what takes them, makes people lose fortunes, sometimes go bankrupt twice, like Donald Trump, and yet he makes all that money back again. What takes him? So yeah, I like reading all sorts of books, but mainly mindset stuff, because I know for a fact mindset stuff, it's really the reason for success, for my success, by the way. I'm not saying for everyone's success, but for my success. So I read an enormous amount of books just purely on mindset.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I love you. I have to run and pick up the family. It's holiday time. They're getting out early.
Thank you, Keisha.
Yes.
Thank you, Keisha. We got Greta who can't be with us right now, but has a question we wanted to pass on to you. So coming from Greta Campanello, Paulo, what is your vision? What is your vision for 2015?
My vision for 2015 is I want to make, in my team, I've got a little strategy written down that I want to make 10 people in my team earning a minimum of $10,000 a month. And I've managed to do that 6 months ago. I was doing extremely well. And then it kind of fell through. People weren't listening about the mindset stuff. I had this mindset call every day and all that. And what people wanted more was my traffic strategies instead of the mindset. Which is a shame, really. Because the way I teach is like you can have it all if you just get the mindset right. And the funny thing, and I've split tested everything, by the way, the people that took me on the mindset call every single day were the ones who achieved the $10,000 a month. And I can prove this. Isn't that strange, though? That the ones that don't you find that strange? I'm smiling because I know how this stuff works. The ones that stuck with me with the mindset were the ones who actually achieved the $10,000 a month. So my goal for 2015 is to get as many people as I can working with me to achieve their goals. And again, it might not be the $10,000 a month. It might be something else, because I always listen to people and I find out what do they want. Sometimes it's not even money. A lot of people that I work with is the money because they want to be free, because they want to work full-time from home, because they don't want to work, well, whatever jobs they are doing. They want to work from home and be with their families. So I love that, because I resonate with that a lot. So I can help people with that problem because I've been there. So that my vision really is just to help as many people as I can, So that's my vision for 2015.
So that really comes from a purpose of servitude. You really look more where you can best serve. And I think people can look at that so many different angles too as well. And what enlightened me was I think maybe Tony Robbins was always look for the solution, and instead of maybe looking at servitude, because people are just wanting what can you give me, because you're a servant, you want to serve me, what can you give me, and it really places you in a new position, a new seat, when you're always looking for that solution. So really, I love a lot of the tips you gave out here today, and so thankful that you gave us all these mindset tips, because we truly are focused on mindset. Whenever we think things are going down, we feel like you're the victim. We're like, what have you done to fix your mindset today? and I love the solutions you gave on how you're feeling and how the little things that you can add. Write that journal down and those action steps, and those actions will overcome those feelings, those victimhood that you placed in your life, that it's going to happen anyways. You got to prepare for it. So thank you so much for all of that.
You're very
was there any other questions?
I think we're good. We're coming up on an hour. If you want to talk, there's a connection below this video to be able to connect and work with the system that we're working with. If you have anything you wanted to say about that, Paulo, and then we're gonna.
All I can really just to summarize is just to say, I don't know who's listening to these calls. I don't know if people may be looking for a way out, looking to join obviously the company that we're very proud of, obviously that we represent, Empower Network, but really the ingredients you need is good mindset. Again, I've been speaking the whole time and the whole call about mindset. That's number one.
Mm.
And then you need to know why, and you need to be hungry. You need to be passionate. Why do you want it? You really need to know that, because if you don't know why you want this, what's going to happen is this: your first month, like everyone else, you got to have your problems. You got to run into problems. You're not going to make money, or whatever. Something's not going to go right for you, and you got to give up. This is why people give up in business. Do you know that? It's because they don't know their why. So when you don't know your why, you go, oh, this is too hard. I'm going to go back and do whatever I was doing. But let me tell you this, guys. If you know your why, and it's a strong why, you will never give up. Remember for 6 years that I never gave up. Why didn't I give up? Because funny enough, without even ring, I knew what my why was. And my why was my family. I need to change this. I want to be the head of the house. I want to be looked up as I can provide. And I felt like a failure because I couldn't do that. So I had a very strong why. So have a good mindset. Know your why. Know why you want to do this. And just be hungry. Be passionate. Find something you're passionate about, by the way. If internet marketing, if working online is not your passion, then find something else. It doesn't have to be internet marketing, by the way. It just happens to be that we all on this call are internet marketers and we love internet marketing, but it doesn't have to be. But you've got to find your passion. And if your passion is internet marketing, then just take massive action. Go for it. Lock arms, lock arms with us, and just work on mindset. And all the pieces of the puzzle, even you might not understand it yet because obviously you might be new to this, but all the pieces of the puzzle will come together and everything will start making sense.
Thank you, and thank you so much for all of your heart and serving. And I want to make a suggestion for folks watching this. You might want to replay this because there's some very, very powerful. Make this a part of your drive time or wherever you're at listening, because there's some very, very powerful information that I find personally very encouraging and very powerful reminders. So and thank you so much, Paulo. We are. I want to wish everybody happy holidays. Wish everybody happy New Year. Alicia, it's true. We're taking next week down, correct? Is that right? We're back on.
I have no idea. Whatever.
There's a possibility we may not be.
You never know. Just pop on.
Right.
Listen to the replay at the same time if it's not there.
Stay tuned. There's a strong possibility we'll be back. We're working on something very special for next week, and it's just basically stay tuned. Stay tuned to us all, because if we do have what we're planning for next week, it's going to be incredibly powerful. And either way, happy holidays, happy New Year, and thank you so much, Paulo, for coming.
Thanks very much for having me. Good night, guys, and have a good Christmas.
You too.
Thank you. You too.